I'm really honored and privileged to be present at this really fantastic occasion. I wish to express appreciation at the warm and cordial relations that South Africa shares with Bulgaria since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1991. Mr. President, I wish to acknowledge you and to congratulate you for being the first sitting Bulgarian head of state to visit our country since we established diplomatic relations in 1992. I also wish to express appreciation and gratitude on behalf of the government and the freedom-loving people of South Africa for the support given by Bulgaria to our struggle for the liberation of our people and our country during those hard days of apartheid oppression. As South Africans, we have not forgotten the initiatives and support provided by the Bulgarian government as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council in the period 1966, 1967, and 1986 to 1987. During that time of serving as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, the representatives of Bulgaria would always make reference to calling for the end of the apartheid regime, for the end of the oppression of people of South Africa, and always supported the call for the imposition of sanctions by the United Nations against the apartheid regime of South Africa. Not sanctions by one country, but that the globe must sanction the apartheid regime. And eventually, the cause of Bulgaria saw victory and sanctions were imposed, and shortly thereafter, negotiations began. Mr. President, we thank your people, we thank your government. The South African government and its people recognize the very important role that Bulgaria played at the dawn of African struggles for liberation. A time when many would not listen to us, many would not support our cause, and yet Bulgaria provided support to African liberation movements in exile, as well as the opportunity for education and international advocacy for the cause of our struggle. Bulgaria was a true global icon of multilateralism because it recognized that human rights must belong to all people, and that human rights are not something that only a particular group, class, or race should enjoy. In that regard, Bulgaria was a vital example of what we call international solidarity. It is a solidarity we must maintain, that we must utilize to free others who continue to enjoy oppression, such as the people of Palestine, who are not free after 75 years. We need a similar level of solidarity to ensure that all people of the world become free. The contribution that was made by Bulgaria to our freedom has built a lasting foundation for people-to-people contact and for durable political relations with sub-Saharan Africa. I also wish to not just speak on behalf of South Africa, but to also affirm and recognize the support that Bulgaria has provided to Southern African students from other countries in our region, as well as students from all different parts of Africa who had the chance to acquire their qualifications in Bulgarian institutions. We recall that over 150 South African students received their higher education training in Bulgarian academic institutions. Many of our liberation cadres have also been trained and educated in Bulgaria. Many of them have become respected leaders and professionals who are contributing to a free and democratic South Africa. So, Mr. President, you did not just support our struggle for freedom, you are supporting the sustaining of our democracy as well. Some examples of beneficiaries of this wonderful solidarity include our Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Mr. Thabang Makwetla, the President of the ANC Veterans League, Dr. Snuki Zikalala, and our own former Deputy Director General for Africa in my department, DIRCO, Ambassador Ndumiso Nchinga. All these people, Mr. President, do a very good job wherever they are. Means the training in Bulgaria is very good. I'm also especially pleased that during their stay in your country, Mr. President, many of our people, especially South African students, established bonds with their Bulgarian peers, which have evolved into lifelong friendships. I also wish to acknowledge the work done by all who have put this exhibition together. It is important that we draw lessons from a struggle of such long duration as the struggle that the people of South Africa, supported by many worldwide, endured for so many decades. We need to use this example, this exhibition, as a lesson, as Nelson Mandela said, that never again shall one oppress another because of their natural being, that we must ensure that freedom and justice reign all over the world for all people. So this memory that we see here is an encouragement to all of us to ensure that whenever we look at the world and talk about freedom of others, we are talking about women being equal. We're talking about black people enjoying opportunity. We're talking about those with disabilities enjoying equal opportunity. We're talking about building a better world. And I hope that, Mr. President, through your visit, South Africa and Bulgaria are going to solidify their bonds and continue that march of freedom to ensure that the example that your people began through supporting our just cause is an example that we must use to draw in others to ensure that we become a beacon for freedom and democracy throughout the world. Let me congratulate those who've put this exhibition together. Memory is a vital lesson, and we must always use it to teach us good practices. I also thank the government of Bulgaria for having supported us having such a wonderful exhibition before us. We are telling the story here of freedom, of friendship, of bonds, of justice, of democracy, of equality. These are stories that must never be forgotten. And so we congratulate the organizers for this wonderful exhibition. But allow me, Mr. President, in conclusion, to repeat my challenge to the Ambassador of the European Union, to whom I have said, Ireland presented the first exhibition on the relationship between Ireland and the struggle for freedom of South Africa. I said to Ambassador Kramer, the Ambassador of the European Union to South Africa, that we need a European-wide exhibition. I'm glad that Bulgaria listened to me, because now we have a second European country. But Ambassador Kramer, you stand challenged. The whole of Europe must exhibit. So, Mr. President, in conclusion, allow me to thank you, to thank all guests who are here this evening, to thank the people and government of Bulgaria for this wonderful example of comradeship and solidarity. I thank you.
Dear President Rumen Radev, Minister Pandor, Deputy Ministers present, South African Ambassador to Bulgaria, Ambassador Pavlova and her team, former South African students who were given an opportunity by the Bulgarian government and society to acquire skills that they were legally denied by the apartheid regime because of the color of their skin. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and privilege for us to welcome the President of Bulgaria and his team in the Republic of South Africa. The Bulgarian government opened its doors and supported all liberation movements which were fighting against colonialism and apartheid. International solidarity was one of the valued pillars of our struggle during the struggle against the most atrocious system of apartheid. It is admirable that the Bulgarian government and society supported the United Nations and other international organizations' resolutions against apartheid. The Bulgarian government imposed economic sanctions, military, sporting, academic and cultural sanctions against the apartheid regime. There was a total ban from importing or trading with the racist government of South Africa. On the humanitarian side, victims of apartheid were provided with medical care and education support. More than 100 students from the African National Congress were given scholarships by the Bulgarian government. They studied in Bulgaria, and Bulgaria became our second home for those of us who studied in Plovdiv, Burgas, Varna, Sofia, and Stara Zagora. We integrated actively, participated in well-organized cultural and sporting events and mass demonstrations in support of those who were fighting against apartheid and colonialism. These solidarity activities were organized by the Bulgarian Youth Movement and the Bulgarian Solidarity Movement. Students of the African National Congress, SWAPO, Frelimo, and MPELA were well looked after by the Bulgarian Solidarity organizations. We are proud that having received solidarity support from the Bulgarian society, we are currently able to intervene authoritatively on all issues that relate to the transformation of our country from apartheid to a constitutional democracy. As a cohort that was privileged to receive political and academic education in Bulgaria, we are participating in the party that is the African National Congress. We are determined to bring back its integrity. It is our duty and obligation to ensure that the African National Congress delivers on its mandate of a better life for all South Africans. As South African patriots, we have the duty to transform our economy and ensure that it serves all South Africans. It is the African National Congress and the mass democratic movement that mobilized the international community for sanctions against the racist regime. It is therefore the African National Congress that must establish strong economic relations with Bulgaria. With the advantage of having studied in Bulgaria, of speaking the language and understanding the Bulgarian culture, it is imperative that we help our government and South African business community to have strong economic and trade relations with Bulgaria. We should encourage Bulgarian companies to partner with South African companies to increase investments in both countries, as this will create wealth, jobs, and good relations between the two countries. South Africa is endowed with precious minerals that can be exploited for large-scale manufacturing. We have the best and tasty beef and good wines that can be exported to Bulgaria. Our construction and IT industries are well advanced. As South Africans who studied in Bulgaria, we are better positioned to advise and ensure that the economic and trade relations between the two countries are stronger. Dear President, what we are saying is, as South Africans, we dare not disappoint those who sacrificed their lives for our liberation and those who were with us during the dark days of apartheid. I thank you.
Your Excellency Dr. Pandor, dear ministers and deputy ministers graduated in Bulgaria, some of you, Your Excellencies, dear friends. I'm so happy to see so many people tonight. People sharing same values, people appreciating freedom, democracy, and friendship. And it is my real pleasure to join you tonight for the opening of this exhibition, which represents, as we can see, documents and pictures from Bulgarian archives and personal collections. Exhibition which represents the Bulgarian support to the struggle for freedom of the South African people. I believe that the most important in this exhibition, and I would like to extend my warm gratitude and appreciation to the organizers and hosts of this exhibition, as it has achieved the main goal, to reveal the close ties of friendship between our two peoples. Bulgaria and South Africa established their diplomatic relations 31 years ago. But Bulgaria and South Africa, however, share long-standing, strong bond, which has been forged in difficult times. And Bulgaria, and not just Bulgaria, Bulgarian people, not just the government, the whole nation, strongly, firmly supported the just struggle of South African people for freedom, justice, democracy, and human rights. And it is not by chance. We, the Bulgarians, we have been always empathic to peoples and ethnical groups suffering and oppression. Just to give an example, immediately upon our Bulgaria gained its independence back in 19th century, we adopted one of the most democratic constitutions in Europe, which constitution stated that any slave setting his foot on Bulgarian soil is to be considered free. This is our understanding. This is our appreciation for life. And that's why throughout the decades, turbulent decades to follow, many other nations, many refugees were seeking safe shelter in Bulgaria. We provided for many nations, mostly Armenians. Further, we succeeded to save all the Bulgarian Jews, 50,000 Jews. We are the only country in Europe in the darkest ages of World War II succeeded and having the courage and having the spirit of our people to save our colleagues, our neighbors, our classmates. Not a single Bulgarian Jew were sent to the death camps during World War II. And within this spirit, it was normally for us, for our understanding, for our mindset to support you, South African people. And our solidarity ranged from the government support and the government international activities through material support, hosting political exiles from South Africa in Bulgaria, and something very important. We opened the doors of our universities to the ANC students in Bulgaria. I think that was the decisive step for bringing us closer and closer together. And please, Dr. Pandor, please accept my appreciation for really valuing the contribution of the Bulgarian people, the Bulgarian nation. And this is the biggest capital in our relations, people-to-people contact, people-to-people support and relations. And I believe that this exhibition obliged us to keep our historical duty, to preserve our friendly relations, to preserve them, to promote them, to pass them on to the future generations. And that's why I'm extremely pleased for today's conversations with President Ramaphosa. Very promising. It was really a successful meeting. We discussed a full range of our mutual interest and our future cooperation in many, many areas. And there is a strong outcome from our meeting today. But the most important is that we have firmly stated our commitment to further develop and deepen our relations, to support our young people to interact in a more feasible way, to invest in our education, to establish student exchange programs, and to support, of course, our business. And I succeeded to visit and to be at the closure of the business forum today. And I can share with you that it is an enormous success. Not just that we have succeeded to sign some very important agreements, but the spirit of this business forum, the understanding of our people, the potential of our cooperation is really enormous. As we agreed with President of the South African Republic, it is not about trade anymore. Although we succeeded to increase enormously the trade turnover last year by 200%. But the future is not just trade. We should look beyond trade. We should look into building joint ventures, into developing new technologies together, into developing science together, and going together much stronger to third markets. Don't worry about EU. I said today to your president that we are the gateway of South Africa to the European Union, to Turkey, to the Middle East. And you are our gateway to Africa. And we highly appreciate the achievements of your country in industry and peacemaking and keeping the stability and security in your region. And this is our common contribution to the prosperity of the world. I'm really optimist, looking at the eyes of your CEOs, of your business at the forum, looking at the eyes of our business, and everything the people were able to achieve together. It is our promise for the better future of our countries. But again, thank you for this exhibition. We should not forget. We should keep our memories, and this is our historical duty to move forward together. Thank you once again.